Gents, I just want to pause the episode for a moment to let you know about the Strong Men of Value Academy. You will have heard me refer to it a number of times, and I want to bring more attention to it. So this isn't just a program, it's a life-changing environment and community of men who are focused on personal and professional growth. We're looking at areas of relationships, wealth, and health, things to help you thrive and maximize your life. Imagine having bi-monthly one-on-one coaching sessions with myself, weekly group coaching calls, and an incredible brotherhood of high achievers by your side. Now we're diving into resilience, leadership, and holistic growth to not just succeed in your career, but to thrive in your health and your relationships. Your journey to greatness, it starts here. So join the movement and you can apply for the Strong Men of Value Academy. You can head to themanthatcanproject.com to find out more.
You're listening to The Man That Can Project with Lockie Stewart, a global movement created to empower men and open up what's really going through their minds by having real and raw conversations about life's unique challenges and our individual ways of processing it all. Welcome to The Man That Can Project.
Welcome back, you group of legends. So good to have you here tuning in. And a great way to really kick off your week if you're listening to this when it's gone live on a Monday, or if you're catching it later on, welcome, and hope whatever day of the week it is, it's an absolute belter. So it's a Sunday afternoon as I'm recording this. It's actually the 19th, July 2020. It's always fun to randomly timestamp a podcast. But I've got a heap of topics written down, so I'm definitely going to dish out a few episodes this week, just because I spent a lot of time this week outdoors reflecting and meditating, and a lot of stuff came back into my thought processes and some shit that I've actually buried for a long time, and I literally have not thought about for 5 years. So it's exciting, and I'm going to unpack that, and I'm going to share that with you guys over the coming weeks through Instagram posts, through the podcasts. I just need to think about it a little bit more and get it out there, so I'm definitely looking forward to sharing that. Today's topic, as you would have read, can men change? Can we change? Can I change? All very good questions, and I'm sure wherever you are, or whatever, I guess, part of the journey you're going through, your response is probably different to this. I know for me, there were certain points in my life where I just accepted I was the way that I was, and I didn't feel like I had any control on or control over the outcomes. I am now in a completely different, or have a completely different belief around that. I do believe we have more control over where we go as individuals in the life that we create for ourselves than we are led to believe, and we do believe. But once again, lads, wherever you're at on that journey, that's your own thing. But first-hand experience, if you've got those limiting beliefs that you're just settling, and you believe that you've got some, whether they're limiting beliefs or negative emotions that are holding you back, and you really believe them, fuck that off. Honestly, I know whatever you're going through is where you're meant to be right now, but I'm living proof that you can change. And I guess for me, I think about, especially, we've all grown and evolved over all aspects of our life, right? But there are a lot of people who believe we can't change. I remember, probably 4 or 5 years ago, someone called me out on social media and goes, "Nah, Lockie's this and that, and there's no way he can change. He's just a fake and putting it on." And that hit me because, knowing what I know about myself, and obviously you guys know yourselves better than anyone else, and people only watch, whether it's the highlight reels or people watch from the outside, they don't know the work that you're doing. And so it's very easy to jump to conclusions and say someone's putting something on, or, they're not actually changing, but, you're not the same person. And this is how I think about it, and this is why I believe we can change, and we can become someone that we originally weren't. And it's obviously through that process, it's going to fuck up people's model of the world, how how they know you to this point. If you've changed, whoa, that's fucking scary for them, but that's their problem. Don't allow it to affect you. It's their shit. Put it back on them. And sorry, where I was going before I went off on that little mini tangent was someone, 4 or 5 years ago, called me out on social media. I said all that sort of stuff, and I remember thinking, I was like, I'm fucking doing the best that I can with the information that I have, and everything that I'm starting to learn about myself, I'm learning to accept about myself. I'm learning to not run away from about myself. It's confronting, and through that process, first the acknowledgement and acceptance, then the sorting and sifting process about things that I enjoy about myself and what I like about myself, I believe in my strengths, and then also identifying things that I don't like about myself and weaknesses, then really creates a framework around what specifically it is that we want to change. Because everything that up until this point, you've learned, right? I want to repeat that. Everything that from this point, I'm actually going to write this down right now, you have learned, right? So if we are continually learning things, it means we are continually changing. And what is really interesting, and I always find very interesting, up until a certain point in time, like I said, just mentioned before, I didn't know that I had control over what that looked like. I didn't know that I had control over my beliefs. I didn't know that I could create and work towards becoming my desired self, right? I had my present self where I was, and, at certain points and periods in my life, that present self is who I am right now and how I think. And, I do believe the man that's giving this podcast right now, for those I time-stamped it, I'm going to be completely different. Well, not completely different, but I'm going to have progressed from what I'm talking about now. I may even have different opinions and views on what I'm currently talking about. But at this point in time, I do believe what I'm talking about and what I'm sharing is, I'm giving the best that I have with the information and the experience that I've got up until this point. And that's always going to grow and evolve and change, because I'm seeking change. I'm seeking better. I'm seeking really trying to understand how I operate, why I've done certain things, why I think certain ways, why I want to continue doing that, why I do what I do. I'm always curious. Because one of my biggest motivators, right, is I really don't want people to go through what I went through. And I really don't want people to treat other people how I treated people in the past. And I can never justify my actions or what I did. Can never take that back. What I can do is hope by sharing my experiences and what I went through, and sharing what I guess I was thinking in those periods of times, gives you guys food for thought about potentially some things that you're going through, or mates that you have in your life that are going through. Because our actions affect so much more than we believe, right? The way I treated people had a ripple effect into their lives and into the people that are in their lives, right? How I carried myself, and potentially even, I believe I do believe I have so much to offer and so much to give, and I believe that about every single person. And I believe, when we're in a state where we're carrying our limiting beliefs and we don't believe we can change, or we may be a victim of our past, right? We're holding back on all the potential and the gifts and the value that we can give to other people that we come into contact with. And I'm forever chasing that, right? And it's really important, guys. And I want you to, if you've got a pen and paper, or if you don't, right, take a note, get your notes out on your phone. And I want you to write down present self, right? Once you've got that note tab. And I want you to write down all the things about yourself. And, for those who've done some work with me with the 8 areas that all men must master, go through those 8 areas, right? And write down where you're currently at in those 8 areas. What do they look like? Where are you presently at? What is your beliefs around yourself in those areas? Okay? And then write down your desired self, right? And once again, using those 8 areas, where do you want to be? Because what we then do, gents, is we create an opportunity for growth. We create an opportunity to intentionally decide how we want to show up. We create an opportunity to intentionally be who we want to be. for so long I was acting in a way, and I was filled and riddled with limiting beliefs that were holding me back, and that were not allowing me to show up as a man I wanted to be and I needed to be and I believe I can be. And it's only, the more I talk about this stuff and the more I go into it for my own experience and journey, and then I implement it with clients, I realize just how fucking powerful it is and how simple but effective it is to be able to help you guys create, essentially that desired self. Right? I know where I want to be physically. I know where I want to be in my relationships. I know where I want to be mentally and emotionally. I know what that looks like. And it's never the same, right? Once I, every day I'm striving that 1% better. It's what inspires me and motivates me daily to be consistent, to show up for myself and for you guys. And because I check in on that regularly, and I do that with all my clients in the from one-on-one clients to the foundation workshop guys to the strong men of value guys in that program, every week they get to check in on that. So if you do sort of veer off track, you can pull yourself back on track. Because I wholeheartedly believe we can change men, and we can change from wherever you're at, because, we all have our own rock bottom, and that's all relative to our own circumstances. But we all, I guarantee you, at one point in your life when you're a young kid or you're a teenager, you had a fucking dream, right? You had an idea of what you wanted for yourself. And whether you're one of those incredible people who's achieved that, or you're still one of those incredible people who has just, stopped believing in yourself, you can still fucking get there. It's just everyone's journey is different. So guys, when you've written down that present self, and I'm just keep going on tangents, but go back to that present self, write down, like I said, all the present self, and then get the desired self and put it there. And then ask yourself one simple question. What would I need to believe about myself in order to achieve that desired self? Because it starts with the inner work, guys, to create what you're striving towards. It starts with that inner stuff. So if you're not, and this is for those who follow me, you'll know I meditate. I'm so disciplined with my routines, and I'm so disciplined with learning and growing and taking time for myself and structuring my time. Because I know that if I don't take ownership, if I don't take responsibility for all of those things, how can I ever expect to create what I want to create? How can I ever expect to grow? I'm leaving it up to, oh no, I don't have time yet. Hopefully I'll find time. I'm leaving it up to, I'd like to become that person, but I'm not intentionally, actively seeking out people who can teach me that, or seeking out books or podcasts to teach me that stuff. So therefore I'm not in control. And you gents are listening to this fucking podcast because you want to be in control of your life. And hopefully most of you in the Facebook group, now if you're not, the first step would be take ownership, take responsibility, and get in the fucking group. Right? Because that's where you can interact with me more. If you're even ready to pull the, to go a bit harder, then reach out and get involved in one of the programs. Like if you're ready to really take ownership and you feel like the Man That Can project offers that, then reach out. Otherwise, if it's not us, go find the right place for you. But to continue leveling up, to continue creating that change, to continue allowing yourself to get what you want from this life, because it's fucking short, man. And if you're not going after it, no one else is going to do it for you. It's that simple, and I learned that a long time ago. I wish people did things for me. Fuck, we all do, lazy. But I realized fucking long ago, if I wanted to get what I wanted from my life and be the man that I wanted to be and have the fulfillment, the happiness, the lifestyle that I want, the relationships, I had to get after it. I had to look at myself in the mirror and say, right, this is where you're at, the good, the bad, the ugly. Can't change what I've done. I can change where I'm going, and I can change the beliefs that I have about myself. That's what I'm doing. Gents, if you got value from this little spiel chat I just had, please just reach out and slide into my DMs. I'd love to have a chat with you guys. But more importantly, help be a part of the ripple effect and share this with a mate that you know who would get value from it, or share it on your Facebook, or share it on your Instagram or your Twitter, or whatever you need to do. But just help get the word out there. I'd really appreciate that. Have an incredible week, guys. Remember, there are over, at the point of this, there's over 230 episodes you can listen through. So make sure you spend some time to do so. And I look forward to meeting you guys in the future. Thank you for listening to the Man That Can Project podcast. My name is Lockie Stewart, and I hope you enjoyed this episode and found it helpful. If you did, please take a moment to rate and review the Man That Can Project on your favorite podcast platform. And don't forget to subscribe to stay up to date with our newest episodes. We'll see you again next time.